Hey speakers, we're going to go ahead and get into it. So go ahead and like and subscribe and let's get started. Hey, my speaker fam, how's everyone doing this evening? Hopefully, everyone is having a blessed Sunday. I am a little late with my review. My apologies, my apologies. Once again, I had to go back home to Louisiana. Um, Thought I would be doing a turnaround. Unfortunately, the weather got bad, so I wasn't able to come home until this morning. So I'm just now able to even watch the show, y'all. But I'm here. Hopefully, everyone is having a wonderful day. Now, of course, before we dive into the actual video, please, everyone, go ahead and like the video. It does help not only myself, but other content creators such as myself float around here on these YouTube streets. So make sure you like the video on your way in, or if you prefer doing it during the video or after. Just please go ahead and like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Of course, we're a family here. No judgment zone. Everyone is free to speak their opinions as long as it is respectful. And we just, like to have a good time, laugh, give our take and opinions on different cast members. So come on, join the family. It's nothing weird over here. And of course, turn on those notification bells so you'll be notified every time I upload another video. Also, I made mention on my community wall, if you have not already, who all would be interested in doing like a wine dine Wednesday, where basically we'll kind of discuss real topics. If you want to throw in some Love and Marriage Huntsville business, if it's anything hot been floating through the streets, we can kind of go over that, or we can actually talk about everyday real events, anything. Any suggestions, of course, you can always email me. I'm open to any suggestions and or opinions, but going to go ahead and get in directly into the show. Now, of course, with the actual show, of course, to me, I'm gonna rate this show about an eight and a half. It really kind of brought and actually, did what it was supposed to do. Sometimes the show can kind of start out a little slow and then kind of pick up as we progress. But to me, I think that it's moving at a good pace. Now, I know the numbers weren't that hot for last week, so hopefully we can get some better numbers. I did see Mel as well as a couple of the other cast members was encouraging everyone to tune into the actual show. So I guess around about Tuesday we'll check those numbers out, see if they did increase, because keep in mind last Sunday, well, I'm sorry, not last Sunday, but last Saturday was Easter weekend. A lot of people probably had a lot of things, going, and probably didn't have a chance to really sit down and actually watch. So we'll see what's going on this coming week. Now, pretty much we see where everything kind of start out where they left off last week, where we have Melody and Stormy meeting up, or speaking at Kimmy's event. Of course, Stormy is still going along with, she knows and she understands that Mel tend to check out after, recording is done for the season, but she didn't think she would do that to her. And she kind of lost me there, because really you kind of contradicting yourself. You understand that she pretty much kind of, isolates herself, kind of go on a hiatus from everyone after filming. But then you say you didn't think she would do it to you. But also, we heard you say on the last reunion after filming that pretty much y'all were building a friendship. So you weren't quite friends, you were more of associates. But for some reason, somehow you thought you would be special and she wouldn't distance herself from you. Now, of course, we heard Melody in an interview that she just recently done that pretty much said that, y'all pretty much started out your relationship kind of via DM. Even when, you did have each other's phone number, you had no problem with DMing her then. So she's kind of, surprised that you really making a big deal out of this. Also, Stormy goes on to mention that literally their dressing rooms was side by side, And they never said, anything to her. And Mel was like, I didn't even know. When I got there, I went ahead, do what I had to do. I didn't even realize that your room was next door to me. But when I did see you, I complimented you and told you how beautiful you looked. And, she said, so I didn't figure that it was anything wrong. Stormy asked her, is it a trust issue? And Mel said, yes, trust is a big thing for her. And her not giving out her number to people pretty much is to protect her peace. And of course, we've heard in interviews as well as Mel, saying on the show even before that pretty much she's big on her peace as of right now. It's kind of hard to trust people when the very people that we seen her bring onto the show has kind of backstabbed her. So I don't understand why Stormy is feeling as though her Melanie was at this place that you may have took a hiatus from everybody else, but for me, I should be different. However, we've seen several times where you have been taking photos with half the people that cannot stand Mel. You have went on your little Twitter rants and all of that. So I'm kind of confused how you thought that she was supposed to put all her trust in you. But anyways, so then Stormy goes on and she mentions the tweet, how the phone call between her and I think it was her and Martell, about Martell rather, saying, everything that was said on that particular tweet. We ain't gonna go into that because that's so many seasons ago, and I'm not even understanding why Stormy is even bringing this up, other than you, I guess, will be using Mel as a storyline. That's the only thing I could gather out of this. But anyways, Mel go ahead and answer her. And basically Mel said, I never said, pretty much we all know Mel was never the one that said that you leaked the phone call. Pretty much the fans did. The fans is the one that really said that. And so Stormy said Mel went on a press conference and kept mentioning the leaked phone call and, and pretty much everyone online, fans, everyone was kind of, assuming it was Stormy. And I guess Stormy felt as though Mel should have jumped online and say, oh, well, no. That's not true. Stormy didn't do it. Just like a lot of things that's being said about her children, her life, and everything. She don't go online defending everything that comes out. So I'm not understanding. Some people actually have a life and things to do outside of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Some people actually take the businesses that they have seriously, and not to say that you don't, but some things are just not a top priority to some people. So, I mean, I don't understand how you figured that she was supposed to automatically just jump online and say, oh, no. Stormy didn't leak the phone call. But yet and still you have people coming at her and her children all the time. And she ain't jumping online to try to go ahead and combat that. She already said maybe the old Mel would have always been online defending everything. But the new Mel, she don't even feed into it. She don't care. So anyways, Mel was like, you hungry? You ready to go eat? Let's go eat. So then we see where basically they go on to eat, because I guess Mel said, I didn't gave this too much of my attention. I'm done with this. This conversation is over. I ain't got a problem. You ain't got a problem. So yeah, that's what it is. So then we see Kiki where she kind of arrived, and she goes over to speak to Kimmy, Courtney, and Leticia. I didn't even take a screenshot of that because basically, the ladies are all sitting down. Kiki, goes over to greet them. And of course, Leticia has her little 1-2 to say. She didn't even know that Kiki would even be coming. Why? Why did you figure she wouldn't? She's a part of the cast. So why would she not come? But there you go. You own it already. So then we see in the next scene where Martell and Kimmy actually sits down to talk. Of course, he kind of make jokes about, Maurice being the one to complaining the most. And pretty much Kimmy explains to her that God blessed her, with Maurice and just in time, because basically everything she's going through, he's there with her in real time to kind of share the experience. And she go on to ask Martell, when you are having special moments or you're going through anything, do you miss not having Mel to be able to, go through those things with. And he, pretty much he said yes. He don't even like to go out of town anymore because it basically doesn't have a meaning. So I take that as, pretty much in the past, when they would go out on family trips and things to that nature, it would, have a more of a meaning, to whereas now he go and he just go and, it doesn't have a meaning. Kimmy goes on to say, I do believe that a piece of them, they will always, them as a group, will always see Mel and Martell together because that is pretty much how they all met. Now, for me, I understand what she's saying because sometimes it is probably hard for friends to adapt when, they have became accustomed to two people being together. This is what it was. We did all of this together. I can kind of get it. But then at the same time, it's been 3 years. It's been 3 years. They've been separated 3 years. And to me, it's almost a little disrespectful. I'm not going to say it a little. It is disrespectful because we all know, and we know that you had so many questions on the last episode about Mel and her dating life. And even with Sheree and Martell and they whatever they got going on, and we've seen you in pictures with Sheree, so you have been in Sheree's company with Martell. It's almost a little disrespectful that you would make the comment that in your eyes you will always see them together. How would you feel if someone says they can always picture Maurice and Kyle together? I mean, how would you feel? I mean, that's to me, that's how I look at it. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't know, maybe I'm looking too much into it, but anywho, it ain't that important. So then she said, even on days that Mel and Martell would say, we know what's best for us, just leave us alone, let us be. Y'all always had something to say. And Martell was like, oh, well, trust and believe, I wouldn't say that no more. Meaning, I guess he would have listened because I guess he would have maybe started fighting sooner. Maybe then he, would have handled things differently. I don't know. But he was like, trust and believe, I wouldn't say that now, So Kimmy said in her confessional, it sounds like Martell is putting his ego to the side and he admits he made a mistake and he wants his old life back, which we all know that. We've been knowing that. Half of the things that Martell is doing and the outbursts and all, everything that he's doing, we know that he is doing this because he been way back then realized he made a major mistake. When Mel didn't come back within that first few months to a year, he knew then you messed up. So he been knew this. He just don't want y'all to know that. But yeah, this is a regret that he's been having since back then. I mean, it's nothing new. Then we go on and we see where Martell is again wanting to walk Mel to her car. Mel explains, I park right here by the door. Martell was like, no, your car is across the street. It's dangerous out there and it's strangers and all of that. And like I told y'all in my other interview, in my previous video where we were kind of looking at the premiere, sir, the whole point of it is she don't want to be tied up with you. She would rather take her chances on walking across the street in the dark than you walking her to her car. Because as we know that she mentioned in her interview that you held her up and cornered her for 40 minutes to the point that she had to sit up there and tell you she would pray, in reference to y'all relationship, custody, or whatever it was about, because you wouldn't let her leave. So why would she put herself back in that same situation? No, I don't need you to walk me to my car. I'll take my chances with, getting whatever happened, because I should be more afraid of you than anybody out here on these streets, pretty much, with what all you have caused. So, she ain't going for it. So Mel then goes and tells Tiffany and Lou that she's about to leave. Martell tells Lou, yeah, we about to go. And Mel looking at him like, yeah, right, you wish. And so then Lou goes on to say, he just want to make sure you make it to your car. And Mel said, I just really wish y'all would just, learn to respect my wishes. Like, if I don't want him to walk me to my car, I don't want him to walk me to my car. She said, there's plenty of people in here probably that might need somebody to walk them to their car. I'm not one of them. I walk to my car all the time. I got this. I don't need your help. And Martell goes on in his confessional and says, Mel didn't mean that. Basically, she wanted me to walk her car. She just, she just didn't want. She didn't mean that. Yes, she did. Like, what? Why do you think that she would just say this for the camera? We know you are the only one that put on the fake mask allegedly, during filming. She already said it in her interview. It's no more faking for her. It's no more faking. We gonna do this how this go. We not gonna make it look good for the camera. If they want reality, let's bring it. We gonna bring them reality. And in reality, I don't want you walking me to my car. Have a seat. So then, of course, we see where he do, stand there at the door and watch her pull off. And I know then he just was like, Lord, what did I do? And later on, we gonna pretty much hear Maurice say that. So then we go on to Maurice and Kimmy's house, where we first see where Kimmy is packing her bags, getting ready for surgery. And she goes downstairs, upstairs, however, to where Maurice is, and she pretty much sit down. He's kind of like, why you out of breath? And pretty much she was like, I'm tired, just trying to pack my bags, get everything together. She kind of goes in to explain to him that, she planning on cooking some meals and freezing them. So they'll have, food for after the surgery so they can pretty much chill. And he was like, how about you chill? Now, I did see where some people was like, why didn't you volunteer to do this for her? And, everybody had their different opinions about it. How I took it, because of course I have had family members that have went through, such situations. And even me to myself, I can speak for myself. If I'm going through something, I'm going to try to keep it. I'm one or two things. Either I'm going to keep real busy, or either I'm going to go get in their bed and try to stay asleep as long as I possibly can. Sleep it away or clean it away is one or two things. And even, with my father in the past, he is, a former cancer patient. And the whole entire time my dad was going through treatments, he never stopped. And I think for a lot of people, they figure the minute they stop, then it kind of takes control and it takes over them, and they feel as though they're allowing the illness to take over. So maybe she's wanting to do this to keep her mind off of it, because at the end of the day, she is going in and have surgery. Some people, she may have been nervous and want to just keep busy, because her idle mind is the devil's playground, and we know that. So maybe she wanted to do that, so she could take her mind off of what was about to happen. But I do understand what he's saying. Just chill out. We'll worry about that then. But right now, you need to chill. So I do understand the take on both of those. They go on to discuss the get together, and he explains that he's really proud of her, because basically she just sat down, she chilled, she enjoyed her company. He mentioned that he didn't really see her interacting that much with Mel. And pretty much she said, because, pretty much those were my friends. Everybody was kind of mingling, doing their own thing. And he says that pretty much he even understands that Mel tends to kind of isolate herself and do her own thing. Everybody get it, I guess, but Stormy, But anyways, so then Kimmy goes on to tell Maurice about the conversation that she had with Martell. And Kimmy said that he really talked like he missed Mel. And again, that's something we all know. We all know. And Maurice said, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Go ahead, Maurice, quoting them scriptures. And if I've never agreed with you before, I am agreeing with you 100%. Because a double-minded man is unstable and also, to me, dangerous. Yes. So he couldn't have said it even better. Kimmy goes up and say, even if he move on, I feel that he will always love Mel. And of course, and I'm pretty sure that Mel, somewhere deep down in there, if you kind of take the scapula and go underneath, she has love for Martell. We even see it. And some people even say sometimes we feel as though Mel is still protecting Martell. And I feel as though if she is, I feel that she has her reasons for why she's doing this. I mean, I have went through some traumatic things, but on the sake of saying, and I'm going to say this. My daughter's father passed a few years ago, and we weren't together because we were one of these type of people. We were horrible together, but we were like really good friends apart. So when he passed, being for one, we shared a child, it hurt me to my soul. You would have thought we were still together. And that's because my only hope and only prayer had always been that that nothing would happen to him, because not because I wanted him or because we wanted to be together, but because that's my child's father. So anything that would have happened or did happen to him, it affected my child. And still to this day, we're coming up on almost 5 years, and that's still a pain for my child like it was yesterday. So even with Mel, regardless of how he has done her and how he is doing her, she still have a love for him that would never want anything bad to happen to him, on the sake of that would not be just hurtful to Martell, that will be hurtful to his children. And what parent wants their children to suffer, because we have these ill feelings towards their father? No. So, I mean, I definitely understand that, yeah, she loved him too. Maurice also goes on to say, when you are the one that made the mistakes, you have a lot of regrets. He said that when a woman is scorned, it's time to move on. And that is so true. It is. I said it the other day. I couldn't figure out who said it. Could remember if it was Jaheim, right? Or R. Kelly. I think it is R. Kelly. When a woman is fed up, it's nothing really you can do about it. A woman will take, forgive. But when she gets to that point, she's numb and done. Oh, that's a wrap. Wrap it up. Cancel Christmas. It's over with. And it's really nothing you can say nor do to bring her back. Even we seen where Mel resorted to getting an air mattress and sleeping on an air mattress and starting completely over, as long as she can separate herself from this pain and this drama and start all over again. I have read and seen of people that will go and will take their children and move into a shelter to get away from a bad situation. They would rather resort to that than to be in that mess. So it is what it is, and he just have to come to terms with that. Maurice said that he seen Martell walking Melanie to her car, and pretty much he said when he came back in, he was looking like a sad puppy. Like, yeah, you messed up, sir. I'm sorry. It's over. I don't know what to do about it. Just move on. So then we go on and we do see where Martell meets up with Chris and Nell Fletcher. Now, Chris kind of tells Nell before Martell get there, well, it's date night. However, I did invite Martell. And she like, what? And then when Martell get there, he looking at why Nell here. So they both were pretty much surprised to see each other. But they all sit down, and Nell goes in and she asks Martell, hey, how's the kids? How's the single life? Martell says pretty much he don't like being single, but he is enjoying he is enjoying himself. He doesn't want to be tied down as of right now, unless he find that one that changed his mind and his heart, because he would like to be married again, and he keep on saying he gonna be proposing this year. But I'm keep saying, to who? You saying that you're single, you enjoyed it, don't want to be tied down when you find that person, meaning you haven't found that person. So who would you be proposing to that fast? I'm confused, but he confused. Maurice just said it. You double-minded, sir. I don't know. And then it made me think, okay, so we all know Sheree might not be tuned in because I don't care what y'all say. I don't think Sheree give two F's about Martell. I'm for real. I don't think that woman bit both care about what Martell got going on than the man the moon. You just show up for these scenes over here that you supposed to be at. I showed up for mine, and we going, yeah, that's is what it is. But Ariana, on the other hand, girl, did you find you a nice crispy white jacket yet? Are you rocking in the corner hugging yourself yet? Has it became to be too much for you? I mean, I know it's hard because he done skipped all over you yet again and said when he find someone, he would like to be married again. So again, he's telling you loud and clear, it ain't you, honey. Your 20% probably went down to 5%. I don't know. But you still ain't the chosen one. And as we all know, normally the side piece is never the chosen one. Even after the marriage is over, it never turned out that way. But you held on, girl. Your loyalty is on a whole nother level. Nell then goes on and asks him, well, are you exclusive with Sheree? Because, we didn't met her. And, so are y'all exclusive? And he said, Sheree's beautiful. We enjoy each other's company. You know how he is when he get to stuttering. I really think he's stuttering because I think he's caught up into this. I don't really know what to say because me and Sheree already know what it is, like type deal. I think, like I said, I do think that they partake in adult activities. However, I don't think that they look at each other as they are exclusively dating. This is a business / we have fun together relationship, and that's what it is, allegedly. But, and then Chris asks, well, is she the one? So of course they all laugh and pretty much, he said, we'll see as it progresses. Meaning, no, because he just sat up here and said he ain't found the one. He knows Sheree. He knew Sheree when you asked him this question, and he just said he hadn't found one. So therefore, no, Sheree ain't the one. He even said that. So then Nell goes on and asks Martell, so what is your next move? What are you planning? And he said, well, when God says go, God says go. And I'm like, okay, petty. What? And even Nell said, well, ain't that Melanie's saying? Yeah, we know it's Mel saying, baby, he probably got about 4, 5, 7 different IG accounts and everything else watching every single move poor Melanie make. Lord have mercy. He is her biggest fan. So then Chris asks, so how's it going with Mel? And pretty much Martell says, we don't talk. And Nell was like, what you mean y'all don't talk? Y'all have kids together. Y'all got to talk. And Martell, of course, he mentioned the courts and that pretty much he's taking Mel or in a custody battle because she has 20 babysitters, and Nell pretty much let him have it. And you know what? This is where I think I'm gonna say to this point, because with Love Marriage Huntsville, it always can go one way or the other. But this is where I feel, thank God they have added them as friends to the show. Maybe we will see someone that has a common ground, and instead of the Fletchers being against Mel too and taking Martell's side. Because when I say she asked the $1 million question, Martell ain't nobody got no 20 babysitters. Do you know for sure she got 20 Who is the 20 babysitters? Miss Nell wanted to know. Write them down. Tell me who is the 20. I need to know. Because she said ain't nobody got no 20 babysitters. Well, just say if she does. I mean, man, that woman ain't got no 20 babysitters. But it's 20 everything with you. So why are we surprised? So Martell said, yeah, pretty much, we need to maybe just come to some agreement where we hire two people, like she'll have someone for her and I hire somebody for me. And who gonna pay for it? Well, who gonna pay for yours? Because we know Mel can pay for hers, but are you gonna be willing to pay for yours? So then we go on then, because enough of Martell and his manipulation tactics, and again, whatever. We go on to see where Leticia is meeting up with Courtney slash her cousin slash realtor slash, I don't know what she is, assistant, employee, I don't know. But as of right now, Courtney is an employee of hers. But anywho, so they meet up at the bar. Now, of course, Leticia, when she first walked in, she spoke to the new bartender there. And then Courtney and her sit down to talk. They kind of discuss Wanda's show enough book, cookbook, or however it go. And then Courtney goes on and she explains that she has been into real estate for 5 years. And Leticia let her know, oh, yeah, girl, that's the reason I invited you here. Because, of course, I'm starting my business back up. And I would love for you to come and work for me. And Courtney was kind of like, she was saying something about just getting tied up into something. To me, it sounded like an excuse, like, I don't want to work for y'all. So, Courtney, do you know some, scoop that we might need to know? Because you, to me, wasn't too thrilled about saying that you wanted to go work for them. But anywho, but as we all know, she works for them now. But anyways, so then they go into talking about Kiki, and pretty much Courtney wanted to know, what could be done to get them back together. Because, of course, when she first moved to Huntsville, pretty much they were really close. And, she loved that about them. And she said with everything that has went on in the family, I think she mentioned that her mother had passed, basically she just don't want the family feud, which is understandable. Tisha said that she's tried, and she kind of go back into the history of her and Kiki. Courtney then says she thinks that Kiki is suffering from a loss of what she could have had she not made some of the mistakes that she made, and that hurt people. Now that's where I had to kind of have a question mark, because what are you saying? Because from my understanding, Kiki is going through, her sobriety. She has been clean for several years now. She seems to be successful, and she seems to be, she has a beautiful family. So what are you speaking of? It's this type of little stuff for me. It's this little, you try to drop these little nuggets or however it go. And, you want to say you want to bring the family back together, but then you say things to things like this that hurt people. So wait a minute, are you trying to bring them together, or are you pouring salt on this open wound right here? I mean, help me understand. So then, of course, Leticia goes on and says, well, I can't let hurt people hurt me. I don't trust her. Why should she trust you? Why should she trust you? Then she goes into she needs to stop acting like she is healed and do the work to be healed. From what I'm seeing on the outside looking in, don't know, not a part of their family. But for one, I would love to do an interview with Kiki. So maybe Kiki could kind of, elaborate a little bit more on what these little gems that Leticia and Courtney allegedly are trying to drop here. Because it's almost like, for us as viewers, like you're trying to say that maybe Kiki isn't over, what you went around and told Mel and Martell that she was going through in the past. It's like you trying to make something out of something and say something without saying something. Girl, either say it or keep it to yourself. Because at this point, to me, now I think you just dragging this on. I can think this is going to be a part of your storyline. I mean, come on now. What is it? What is it? So then Courtney suggests, that Tisha and Kiki meet up and maybe have a fun outing. Then we go on to see where Mel and Nell actually meet up. And of course, it looked like they had, was walking maybe like a downtown area or what have you. and they go ahead and sit down to talk. And they Mel lets her know, congratulations on the Mel actually asks her Nell about the daycare. And then of course Nell goes on and congratulate Melody on the skincare line. She was like, girl, you're gonna have to hook me up. And they just chit chat. And then Nell goes on and asked, how's your dating life? And Mel said, it's cool, I'm just taking it easy, pretty much. I think at this time, Mel really hadn't really said anything in reference to her new boo. And then Mel also said in confessional, she knows more stuff going on in Huntsville than her dating life. So why is everybody worried about who she dating? And really and truly, why is everybody worried? Like, what difference it make? So then Nell goes on and tell Mel about, her date night that she was supposed to have and how Martell pretty much crashed their date night, which we know it wasn't really a crash because he was invited, Miss Nell. But anyways, she said that pretty much, at the end of the day, with everything going on about Mel and Martell, it's about the kids. And regardless of how y'all feel about each other, y'all gonna have to see each other forever. And Mel was like, what you mean? And she was like, being that you have kids together, you're gonna make contact sometimes. You're gonna have to talk at some point, which is true. And especially given the fact that all the kids at this time, at the ages they are, you will have some type of communication. Mel goes on to mention the 20 babysitters. And of course, Melody, you could tell she is getting aggravated at this point because I'm pretty sure she's tired of hearing this narrative that he is creating about her parent. She was like, he dogged me as a wife and now he trying to dog me as a mother. Like, what's new? I'm not surprised that he done went and told the Fletchers this same story he telling everybody else. She said that Mel said that Martell wanted her to need him and pretty much come back to him. And that is so true. And most narcissistic, men, that is how they are. They feel as though they're going to badger you and try to push you in this corner to where you see no other way out than to go back to what you left. But Mel already said, God said go. And when God is for you, who could be against you? So with everything that you've thrown at her, it hasn't pierced her at all. Yeah, it might have ouch, but it didn't break her at all. Broken crayons still color, sir. You might need to go pick up that book. Can't remember who it's by, but I read it and it was really, really good. Broken crayons still work. You did all of this and you thought that everything that you did to break her was going to drive her back to you because you felt as though she would need you, and she don't, and it bothers you. So then she said that pretty much he is going on a smear campaign and to dog her out. And she just wondered, how would the same people that he trying to turn against her, how would they feel to know that he's still begging for her to be with them? And they kind of go on scenes, they get flashbacks of all the times that we have witnessed him begging her, asking her, reminiscing, and all of that. So again, I'm trying to see where some people, those pick-me's that still, Mel just need to move on and she bitter. Ma'am, look as though to me, what have y'all ever caught a scene or anything, or seen a tweet or anything that indicated that Mel wanted Martell? Maybe I missed it. Screenshot it and put it in my inbox, please, and let me know. Can anybody tell me where Mel has came across or made it seem like she wanted Martell? Because I don't think Melody give two flap nothings about Martell or what he got going on, other than the fact that that is her children's father. The end, period. So then Nell asks, could they come together, at least, get 3 babysitters, where they are aware of each other higher. Mel say, look, we done tried that too. Nobody wants to work with Martell, and probably not, because he probably was over there grilling them people to death. Well, who did Mel leave with? Or who did this? Or you probably didn't want to pay him, allegedly. Who knows? But she said nobody wants to work with him. Mel also said that he is hurt and miserable. He's in a hurt and miserable state, and this is a result of his marriage. He said that leaving her and leaving her caused him to lose control. And she said, and that's it, that's all. I'm not going to allow him to control me. He wants to be able to control this situation and tell her who can and cannot watch the kids. And that's just another form of control. Mel also went in to say that, she didn't want this. She never imagined being married, having children, and now only being able to see her children every other week. She never envisioned this life. This is something that she never wanted. And you could tell she gets very, very emotional. We all know and we see the bond that Mel has with her children. And for 7 days, every other 7 days, you really don't really know what is going on with them because they're with him. Now, I'm not saying that Martell would do anything to harm them, but those are 7 days, outside of their life that you could be there. Had the man that created them and the man that you married had done the right thing and you all were still that unit, versus now I have to wait 7 days to see my children. I have to wait 7 days to ask them how was school. Now, I don't know if she's able to communicate with them because being that they do have their own phone. But then again, what's she going to do? Call from the trap phone? Because, of course, we know if she called from her phone, we already know Martell going to get the number. It's no boundaries for him. So then Mel said that he's not about to control her with all them pull-ups and and following and all of that. She said she's not with that. And if this is what she got to do, you already know she already said let's take it to trial. May the best one win, because for one, we already know you ain't probably allegedly ain't got the coins to go to trial. On top of the fact, look at all that you done had going on in the last few months, year, and all of that. Who do you think really finna give you full custody of some children? Come on, let's be real here. So then Nell says she get it, and she didn't know. And Mel says she really appreciate Nell reaching out to her because she could have been another one that could have just took Martell's story and ran with it and looked at her in another way, like the other ones have. Which I think, regardless of what he would have told them, I think they already have their own hiccups and with her anyway. So that was just basically icing on the cake with them, and that just So then she said she pretty much is just saying that he's always going around trying to pretend like he is the better parent. And I hadn't mentioned this. I had seen this the other day, and it's still on topic, but it was in a Facebook group where someone had then took a screenshot of Ariane and was saying that if she wasn't up all night reading, I guess, movie scripts and would clean up and cook the food and took care of her kids, and if she wouldn't have stopped having intercourse with her husband, I guess Ariane wouldn't have never took him, or however it go. Another pick me. Another pick me. And the sad thing about all of that, those type of comments come from women that men did them the same way. Or they're currently going through those type of situations. Like, what? If you don't like her, that's fine. But sit up here and don't sit up here and try to talk down on this woman and her motherhood and what she could have, should have, would have done. Who are you, ma'am? Are you married? Have you been married? Did you get cheated on? Who hurt you that you would sit up here and come for this woman? Because I don't know any decent woman with any ounce of respect in them that would sit up here and applaud a side chick for breaking up a home. Like, what? But people will go to any length to bash and diminish somebody else that they don't even realize that you making yourself look like a clown. It is a true statement, and of course, I'm not gonna really curse here on my channel, but don't mess around trying. Don't mess around and f yourself trying to f me. You see what I'm saying? And it's true. Don't you gonna mess around and F yourself trying to F me. Like, come on. So then Mel also goes on and says that she has changed her number 5 times since she left him, and that is a shame. She said that she wished that they could take the kids to lunch and co-parent in a healthy way. She said that was something she would love to do, but they tried that. They've been there, done that, and we see it didn't get them nowhere. But because, of course, when you do little things like that, that gives that other person hope. And it only when you give them hope, it makes your situation worse. So then we go on to see where Leticia and Kiki meet up at the gym or kickboxing training. And did y'all see how that woman, the trainer, looked when she seen Kiki? Like, she looked like, what you doing here? You know, like the look she had on her face. And I'm saying, ma'am, you ain't the cutest, but why is you looking like that? God, dog. Lord, have mercy. But anyways, Leticia, they do their little training and they decide to take a break, sit down and talk. Leticia tells Kiki that she had a conversation with Courtney and how she wants them to fix it. And did you also tell Kiki how pretty much the only reason you agreed to this is if Courtney would agree to come work for you? Did you tell her that part? Probably not. So then Kiki said, yeah, it's really unfair, you know, for the other family members that, you know, pretty much what they going through is kind of affecting the other family, and it's not fair, which is true. And Leticia said that her heart is saying she loves you and she wants to work it out, but her mind is saying don't be a fool. And she feel like Kiki, you know, was being a puppet. So then they go back to the clip from the reunion, you know, when she made a dummy of herself, bringing out them little puppets, or however it go, you know. Yeah. And so Kiki said that she, you know, she never did anything to intentionally hurt Leticia. She said that pretty much she feels that Leticia and Marceau made the situation really worse than what it was. So then Leticia says, you can't just, you know, say things in reference to my marriage and, you know, because it leaves people room to assume. Ma'am, prior to Kiki ever even coming on this show, prior to Kiki saying what Kiki was saying, people already was assuming because of how your husband moved. You set up on a whole panel that Kiki wasn't even a part of, and your husband was sitting up there saying how basically you needed to outsource other women. Kiki wasn't a part of that. Kiki wasn't on that show. So you sit up here and you trying to have, you know, this vengeful heart and made mad at Kiki. But ma'am, long before Kiki ever said anything, your husband was already having a big question mark on y'all marriage because of the things he says and does. And then went up on a panel, a married couples panel, and said that sometimes you got to outsource. Kiki wasn't there. Y'all know Kiki wasn't there. Did y'all see Kiki there? Was she in the audience? I don't know. Kiki, did you even watch that show? Anywho, but again, here we go. Leticia, go ahead. I'm gonna just call you a narcissist too. You narcissist too. Allegedly, I'm gonna put that on there because we know how your mama like to handle these people in these YouTube streets. But this is screaming it all day long because, you know, and I understand, and they cut clips and make it seem this way when it may have been another way. But you know, Kiki says, I feel the same way. And how can you be mad when you did the same thing? And that's when I was like, okay, Kiki, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Because we all know that you sat up here and you ran with that Kiki story to Mel and Martell, spreading this woman business that had nothing to do with Mel or Martell, even if she was going into their home. Was you expecting her to go up in them people's house and steal? Like, I mean, we never could get that together. So I'm trying to figure out, what did she say that is so bad that makes what you said okay? I'm trying to make. Are you saying that basically your marriage and what she said about your marriage is more important than you going around telling everybody something that was told to you in strict, in strict secrecy of what she was battling. Like, she should be the one side-eyeing you and questioning you. So let it just be y'all both questioning each other. But don't sit up here and take no accountability. And then for you to go on to say that I'm not getting through to her and she's not taking no accountability. She even says that what if I got mad and just started saying things about your marriage? Well, get mad and say it then. Get mad and say it. Because now I think you're trying to come up with a story. Because as we all know, I don't think Leticia ever really wanted Kiki on this show. So now that she's on the show, I think you're going to try to paint a ugly picture of her. But we as fans, we as viewers, we as bloggers, we want to see what Kiki got to bring. Because maybe now we can see it from a whole different, because we don't just see a you and Mel. We're gonna see what Kiki gonna bring to it, because it seems as though you try your best to make this woman look to be in a bad light, and it doesn't say much about your character, because at the end of the day, this is your family, and you started this. You started this when you decided to go and tell something that she confided in you with. And then for you to pretty much, put it out there and drop gems so us as the bloggers could get the question, well, is Kiki still allegedly on drugs? Is Kiki allegedly cheating on her husband? So, see, you say things and drop these nuggets for people to grab hold to them and hope that people take them and run with it. But I'm one of them. I'm not going to do it, ma'am. Say what you got to say or don't say nothing at all. We know that your speech is a little off. But say what you got to say or don't say it at all. Because what you doing is not a good look. And already you getting on my nerves. It's only the second episode. And I think officially you are the one that's going to get on my nerves the most. And I try to give everybody on this show the benefit of the doubt. But you have just sat up here. Now, again, I understand clips are cut. They are edited out. So I don't know really how it went. And I'm praying that they did edit something out, because I don't want to look at nobody. I want to start at a fresh slate. The only person that I'm really just can't really just get with, because we already know where you at, is Martell. You played in my face too long. The last time you did that interview and Mel went back and said something totally different and made you look like a clown, I'm done with you until, because we also heard that little therapy session, that was something that you had to do. It wasn't nothing you chose to do. You had to do it, allegedly. So I'm done playing with you. Stormy, you still questionable too. And now Leticia, you pushing your way up to the front of the list. I don't know. But they said that basically this show was conceived, it was to be, what was it again? You Scots to chill. I don't know what Scots got to chill, because to me, I don't feel like, we ain't seen Maurice yet. I mean, we haven't seen Marceau yet. We did see Maurice. We haven't seen Marceau just yet. But anywho, y'all, that was it. This video wound up being a little longer than I wanted it to be, but y'all got the point. Please go ahead, like the video if you have not already. It is free of charge. And join the family by subscribing and turning the notification bell so you can be notified when another video comes up. Go ahead, please, and leave me or send me an email with any opinions that you may have on the Unwind Wednesday that we can kind of talk about. We can go ahead and finish talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville. We can talk about narcissists. We can talk about just everyday life, whatever we want to unwind and talk about on Wednesday. We will be doing it like via live chat. Now, I don't think I'm gonna be able to start this Wednesday, but it would definitely be the following Wednesday. So if you could kind of leave any of your ideas in either my inbox on Instagram at Jusbeingmespeaks, or you can always email me at justbeingmespeaks@gmail.com. Either or. Everything is going to be down in the description. I definitely appreciate each and every one of you. And again, if anyone is interested in going or meeting up in Washington, D.C. on May the 19th for the Walk on Washington for Shanquilla Robinson, please reach out to me. I would love to do a meet and greet, because I am planning on going. However, I'm supposed to be in Atlanta on May 13th. Girl, my job is going to be like, you tripping. But we're going to try to make it work. But it is what it is. So y'all, until the next time, I love each and every one of you, and y'all have a good night.